Hi guys, my name is MJ and you're welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time of watching me, make sure you subscribe to this channel before you leave, because I promise that this channel is one of the best YouTube channel out there. And if you're not subscribed to this channel, then you're wrong. Especially if you're a registered nurse, I promise you're going to find this channel really useful. I always share very useful information with you, like this one that I am about to share. This video, I'm going to share with you how to become a band 6 registered nurse in the United Kingdom. And just to note, this is for those who are already band 5 registered nurse in the UK. And like the title of this video said, you do not need to have a degree in nursing for you to become a band 6 registered nurse with the NHS. And of course, it is only the NHS that is using the banding system. Okay, so if this is something that you will be interested in, all you have to do is keep watching this video and make sure you don't skip any part of this video, because then you might be missing a very key information. Without wasting much of our time, let me go right into the discussion that we're having today. So, the band 6 role in the NHS. Of course, as a band 5 registered nurse that is big on career progression, you want to move on to the next level. Okay, and moving on to the next level is band 6, and then the next level is band 7, band 8, 8A, 8B. Yeah, I think 8B is the highest level of the band that you can attain with the NHS. How do you then become a band 6 registered nurse? I mean, if you don't need a degree, so what then do you need? So first thing I want you to know is that becoming a band 6, it means that you are ready. You are so ready to take up the responsibility of being a band 6, because a band 6 role has a lot to do with leadership and management. Okay, and this is not something that anyone prepares you for. No, although there's some trust that you do springboard, and this is like it's like a course, or I would say a training to prepare you to be a band 6. But trust me, the real preparation is not something anyone can prepare you for, because most of the time you end up learning on the job, right? But that preparation, 95% of it depends on you. The moment you get into the NHS working system, you need to start preparing yourself to be a leader. And that implies in all of your action, in everything that you do, how you carry out your role, punctuality, every aspect that presents you as a good leader. Yeah, you want to be the go-to person when they need to do something in the department. When someone new comes to the department, they'll say, oh, you can trust her, she'll be able to tell you about this, about that, because you have come off as someone like that. Okay, so this is a role that you begin as the beginning, at the right beginning of your career as a band 5 registered nurse with the NHS. You start putting yourself in line as a leader in everything that you do. You give your medication on time, you assist your colleagues when you can, where necessary. You're able to solve problem standing on your feet. You're able to give reasonable and valid suggestions in the department that helps the department to run smoothly. You're present in trainings, your ESL trainings are up to date. All of this are things that prepares you to be a leader. You're not someone that asks questions all the time. It's good to ask questions, don't get me wrong, but you're able to think. Like, there's some things that you don't even need to ask, but you know that you should know. Like, you don't need to ask someone before you know that you should do it. So it means you're taking initiative, you're proactive, you're at the right place at the right time. Okay, this is basically how you prepare yourself to be a leader. Okay, you're showing all of the attributes of a leader, and trust me, your line managers, your matron, or whoever is in charge of your department might act like they're not seeing anything, but trust me, they're taking note. They're watching you. They're looking at how you treat your colleagues. They're looking at how you treat your patients. They're looking at how you treat every other person. They're looking at how you behave, how you carry yourself. Okay, so it's really important that at every time you do the right things, you know what you should do, and you do what you need to do. So I used to be a band 5 registered nurse in the operating theater, and a lot of people made us feel like you need to have certain years of experience before you can be a band 6 registered nurse in the theater, as a specialist. Yes, in most adverts they will state that they need a certain amount of years for you to qualify, they need this and that, but trust me, I have seen people who became registered nurses in 6 months. I've seen some who became registered nurse in less than 6 months, in a year. Okay, so this is just to let you know that these factors at times they don't count. Okay, the number of years that you have worked in the department at times they don't count. So what are the things that actually might help you, might actually boost your chances of becoming a band 6 really fast? If you work in a supportive department, if you work in a department where your line manager is very supportive of you, they are very they want to see you grow. They're so concerned about your growth, and you take all of your training is important. You've proven to be a very valuable member of the team. Trust me, manager themselves will be the ones recommending you for a post. How will your manager recommend you for a post and you think anyone will turn that down? No one will turn that down. And then when you present yourself during the interview, you did really well, then trust me, you will get the role. So at times it's not just about how many years you have worked in that department. I've also seen people work 10 years, 13 years as band 5s. Okay, so it's really not about the length of the year. It is how valuable you have proven to be during that period. Okay, and again, like I said, you have a supportive team, you are in a supportive department, you're in a supportive unit, you're working with a manager that is interested in your growth, then your chances of growing very fast in your profession and attaining that height will be higher. Another thing is, if you work in a unit that they are very short, and people tend to really leave that unit, okay, because they are very short. A lot of hospitals are short these days, yeah, and they are trying to retain the ones that they've got, right? So it also increases your chance of actually getting a band 6 role, because if you don't apply, if nobody applies, who takes the role? Okay, so the ones that have applied and they are worthy of the position, they won't say because you only have 2 months experience they won't take you. Okay, what is really more important is your attitude, your professional attitude to things, how you act, how you react to things, how you treat your colleagues, how you treat others. These are really very important values of a leader, because like I said earlier, band 6 role has a lot to do with management and leadership. Okay, so now let's talk about the requirements. So in most adverts, you will see, like when I wanted to apply for a band 6 role, yeah, using track.jobs, because that is the official job website in the UK for those of us in the UK, right? So I went up there and I began to search for band 6 role. Before I say this, you don't have to stay within your department or within your hospital to get a band 6 role. except the positions are available. So if they are not open, if you feel like, okay, this is, you are ready to take up responsibility as a band 6, right, and there are no positions have open in your hospital, because maybe your hospital is very competitive, right, you can look elsewhere. You can look outside to another hospital around that you're interested in. And again, in my own case, I wanted to leave the environment that I was. It was too boring for me. I couldn't cope in that environment, and I felt like it's time to leave. So that was one of the reasons why I decided, okay, if I am leaving, I am not leaving as a band 5, I am leaving as a band 6. Okay, so I started to look out for band 6 roles in other hospitals. So I created an account on track.jobs and I started to search for band 6 roles within the NHS. It also brought some roles within private hospitals, but like I said, they don't use the banding system, although they will tell you they will pay you on the rate of a band 6. But later I found out a lot of things about private hospitals, and so I declined all the offers I got from the private hospitals and went ahead with only NHS hospitals. Okay, so one of the requirements was that you need to because I'm a specialist, I needed to have a qualification that has to do with the operating theater department, or in something that has to do with care of surgical patients, right? And also it's either a diploma or a degree, right? Have to be a registered nurse, yes, and have to have at least a year or two, no, I think it was about 2 years experience within the operating theater department, practicing as a theater nurse. Yeah, that was for me, right? And I think those were the basic requirements actually. Okay, but at that time I did not have a degree in nursing. So the first requirement was degree in nursing, have a degree or a qualification that has to do with operating theater, because of course I'm in the theater, and or experience working there, right, for at least a year or two. I think it was about 2 years or 3 years, not even a year, and at least about 2 years or 3 years of experience working in the department. So another thing is that these requirements, what I noticed was that it differs across different hospitals. Okay, that was one of the things that I noticed. Okay, so for me, I did not have a degree, I had a diploma. So going by you have to have a degree, that means I did not qualify and I would have stepped back, right? One other thing that is signified in that requirement is that either you have a degree or you plan to have a degree. Yeah? So those were the things I noticed in all of the hospitals. So that you have a degree or you plan to get a degree. Okay, so I had a diploma in nursing, yeah, but I planned to have a degree. And by the time I was gonna start this search, I already started a degree. Okay, I started a degree and I think I'd only done 1 or 2 modules then. Okay, so what I did was that when I was putting down my educational history, I then added all of the modules that I had done and the period that I did them in it. One other very specific requirement is mentorship. If you have a qualification that has to do with education and teaching or mentorship. So I remember that I did a module regarding to that. But then I also had colleagues, friends that never did any module related to mentorship or teaching, and they are currently band 6 registered nurses in their unit. So this brings us back to the factors that I discussed earlier about you positioning yourself rightly, displaying all of these attributes. Maybe your department, your unit, the line manager is very supportive, or your unit is less competitive, or they are very short and they don't even mind, they want to retain staff. All of these factors always come into play when you're applying for this role. So they will shortlist you. So the next thing for you to do is then prove yourself during interview. So how do you? So you can see that you don't necessarily need a degree. You don't need a degree in nursing. I applied with my diploma. I have a diploma in nursing. I have a diploma in perioperative nursing. And these were the things that I used to apply. And with my experience, I added up my experience back from my country, which is Nigeria. This is why, of course, you became a registered nurse in the UK because your experience counts. So I added up that experience with my experience in the UK. That was what I added up in order to apply for the role. Next thing I want to then discuss is, what does the interview look like? And I think this is a topic that I will have to discuss on its own. Okay, but one thing you need to know is, because the Band 6 role is all about leadership and management, most of your interview questions will be based on leadership and management. Okay, that is what your questions will be based on. And also it depends on your specialty. Now for me in theater, they will discuss roles that, what a Band 6 needs to do in the theater, that has to do with leadership and management. Why? What makes you a good leader? What is leadership to even start with? What makes you a good leader? Or what do you think makes you a good leader or a manager? Okay, so these are the kind of questions that you will be expecting as a Band 6 registered nurse, and I promise I'm gonna make another video that will explain to you what kind of questions you should expect when preparing for a Band 6 registered nurse interview. So I hope that you found this video useful. If you did find this video useful, make sure you subscribe to this channel, save it and share it with your friends, and let everyone know about this information. Okay, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.